Well, friends, this is the third time I've recorded this video, but guess what? That's part of being a business owner, and that's what we are gonna talk a little bit about today. So get excited. All right, everybody, welcome to the first video, the mindset kickoff training video. You've signed up for an incredible journey, a journey of a lifetime. Let me tell you, I'm so excited for what you are about to experience. We are going to start talking about how to shift your mindset. I'm not really sure what season you're in right now, or what job you're in right now, or what job you used to have maybe 10 years ago. But I do know that most of us are in an employer mindset, which means we trade time for money. We give X amount of hours per day or X amount of hours per week to get an exchange of money or salary. I know for me, in my last full-time office job, I went from things being all laid out for me. I had trainings, I had a mentor, I had Google Docs with directions, I had a team of people around me all the time that I could just go and ask a question if I had one. Well, now that I'm a business owner, that has absolutely changed. I've learned things on my own. I've been up really late at night watching YouTube videos on how to work iMovie and how to work email marketing, how to create great content. I've learned how to run my business genuinely through other people's content, through their YouTube videos, through their blogs, through podcasts, through books, through so many different avenues. I've been the teacher of myself. Luckily for you, you're here with me, and all these training videos are going to be a compilation of everything that I have learned, and I'm excited to be able to kind of share it with you and pass it along so that you can be successful as well. Back to your old job. It was time in and money out. This business is so different in that you have to invest and lay a foundation so that you can be building trust with people, so that your business can flourish later on. It really can be difficult to invest the time and the energy that you are probably about to invest into this business and not see money come out right away. But here's the thing. We need to get into a different mindset. Together, we are gonna do that, because guess what? It is not time in and money out anymore. Time is a super limited commodity. I always like to use my sister as an example. She is a PA in dermatology. She makes incredible money, okay? Incredible money, and only works 4 days a week. However, she only gets paid for the amount of patients that she sees. So if she were to go in and see 20 patients, that's gonna take, probably half of her day. So it would probably take about 4 hours of her day. And so she's only getting paid for those 4 hours. She has time in and money out. It's a limited commodity. What's so cool about this business is that you put time in the beginning, and you may not necessarily be making money right away, but the more time and energy you put in, later on, you're gonna get to put possibly less time in and get more money out. What's so great about this business is that I can go on vacation and still be getting paid regularly, because I have people working on my behalf. And you are gonna get there too, and let me tell you, it is a phenomenal feeling. I have more longevity. I'm not operating on time for money. I'm just operating basically on the foundation that I've laid from the very beginning. And that's exactly what I'm gonna teach you to do. Another example I like to give is a franchising example. So let's say you were gonna purchase a 7-Eleven, the rights to own and run a 7-Eleven, a gas station. To purchase a 7-Eleven, you would probably have to pay about $100,000. So when you purchase a franchise, like a 7-Eleven or maybe like a Chick-fil-A, you are independently owned by a franchise. What that means to you is that a franchise is gonna give you a baseline. It's gonna give you some marketing. It's gonna give you a brand. It's gonna give you products. It's gonna give you basically everything that you need to run a business. But as the business owner of your particular 7-Eleven, you do get some control of things. One of those things may be you can hire who you want to hire. Maybe you can shift different roles around and say that one person may have a different role at one 7-Eleven than at your 7-Eleven. You can kind of work things in a different way at your particular franchise. Beachbody is super similar. You can run it your own way. Maybe you've noticed for me that Beachbody is not my brand. My brand is myself. I am the brand. And what that means is that I'm not really chained to Beachbody. I have the opportunity to work with so many different brands and so many different people because Beachbody is just the platform that I have been able to use. I knew that I wanted to build a business. I knew that I didn't want to spend the time, and I knew I didn't want to spend the money on more degrees and more certifications. I just didn't have that. I didn't want to go into crazy debt. I needed to build a business now, and I needed to use my influence to do that. And I knew there was not one single bone in my body that didn't know that I could do this. Beachbody was something that I loved and I knew, and I sort of understood how the business worked, but essentially it's a business in a box. It's something that you can just take and run with and use it as a platform for your business. But here's the difference between Beachbody and possibly franchising a 7-Eleven. To franchise and to purchase a 7-Eleven, it would cost over $100,000. So basically, you would be working for a couple of years at 7-Eleven and be pushing the money back into the business, or basically paying off your debt. So any money that you made, it would go back into that $100,000 loan that you probably took out. And until that loan is paid off, that's when you can start making your money. With Beachbody, it only costs you $40 to start this business. It's a $40 investment. And so that's good and that's bad. The reason it's good is because, well, anybody and everybody can probably fork out 40 bucks to start a business. But that can also be a bad thing, because I can also probably guess that if you're watching this, you could lose $40 and it would be okay. You don't have as much skin in the game in Beachbody than you would in a 7-Eleven. You better believe that if I were to take out $100,000 to buy a franchise, that I wouldn't quit until I was successful. That is so much money. I can't even imagine having to pay that off. And I would work until I was my last breath before I could get that money paid off. Beachbody, it's only $40. We can all lose $40 for the most part. And it's gonna be really easy to quit when things get hard. You have to make that commitment right now that as a business owner, you are gonna push through in the hard times. There's no business that begins and you start just rolling in money. Not one single business. It takes grind, it takes patience, it takes investment and commitment. And that has to be something that you are walking into this process knowing. I don't know what everyone's goals are. Maybe you only want to make a couple hundred extra bucks a month. Maybe you want to make a part-time income. Maybe you want to make a full-time income and quit your job. I support every single one of those goals. But no matter what, you have to know that there are going to be lows, there are going to be highs, but through the whole process, you need to stay as stable as you can. Don't ever get too down and don't ever get too high. Just keep grinding and keep pressing forward. The only way that you will lose at this business is if you are not consistent and if you quit. If you are consistent, if you are genuine, if you have a heart for serving and loving others, you are going to be successful. It is inevitable. We are thinking legacy here, okay? Beachbody is the vehicle to get you to that legacy, whatever that looks like for you. A different life for your kids, a different life for your grandkids. Maybe you're fighting for your marriage. Whatever that looks like for you, I want to help you reach that legacy, and Beachbody is the vehicle to do that. That little bag of powder that's probably sitting on your kitchen counter right now, that is a gold mine product. There's nothing else like it on the market. It is incredible. It only makes you feel amazing, and it's so nutrient dense, and everybody in the world needs it. If you let that bag sit on your shelf and you don't use it, gosh, I just want to shake all of you and say, wake up. This is an opportunity of a lifetime to have access to an incredible incredible supplement and product that we get to share with the world. Go ahead and commit to doing the hard stuff. Because when you do the hard stuff, when you press through, when you do the workouts that you don't want to do, when you eat the right food that you don't necessarily want to eat, you're gonna attract people that want to do the hard stuff as well. Become relatable, share your journey, and be vulnerable. What do you do in hard times? For me, I recognize the fear, I let it sit in and I feel the fear, but then I do it anyways. And 9 times out of 10, I look back and I think, wait, that wasn't that hard, or that wasn't that scary. I can do more. I'm gonna ask you to do some scary stuff, and I want you just to do it anyway. Feel the fear, recognize the fear, and do it anyway. There's a difference between something feeling yucky and something feeling scary. If something is scary, that isn't a sign you're doing something wrong, it's a sign you're doing something bold. If something feels yucky, that's something that's totally different and you shouldn't do. But I promise you, I'm not gonna ask you to do anything yucky. I'm just gonna ask you to be bold. If you feel a butterfly in your stomach, that means you need to do it. I'm so thankful for that first, second, and third butterfly feeling that I was starting to feel as I began to build my business. And I'm so glad, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I decided to do it anyway and press through. If you had an extra $50,000 or $100,000 a year, how much would your life change? How many more vacations would you go on? How many more date nights? How much of your debt would be paid off? You may be making amazing money right now, but your issue may be that you don't have the time. What would it look like if you had more time? How many more dates would you go on? How many more vacations would you go on? How much more time would you spend with your children? Write it down. Write it down what you would do with extra time or an extra $50,000 or $100,000 a year. When things get scary, pull out this list, look at it, and press forward. The goal is to bring as many people as we possibly can to the top. There's not many people up here and there's plenty of room, and so I'm excited to bring all of you with me. Break free of this employee mindset. We are all now business owners. Get ready to invest heavily at the beginning so that we can reap the benefits later. Let's do this. Let's start creating the legacy that we want to have.